Hi guys, welcome to Frankie. Can you get out of? Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. I'm your host Jamie, and if you haven't already, please press the subscribe button. We have all the links below for anything that you'll need: Discord, subreddit, Spotify, and as always, like the video and leave a comment about your questions, comments, concern, deepest, darkest thoughts, anything. This is a mini episode, so this will last from anywhere to 15 to 30 minutes long. We put these out on Mondays and Thursdays. Long episodes are out on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So let's get right into the story time. These episodes are dedicated to stories with updates or multiple stories with themes. So I don't know if you can even see me right now because the sun is so bright and it's actually ridiculous, but let's hope. Anyways, the story title is My Sister-in-Law Pranked Me by Giving Me Alcohol Knowing I Don't Drink. I feel like I'm spiraling about it. I, 29 female, don't drink alcohol. The short answer to the reason for this is I grew up with two highly abusive alcoholic parents. It took me a lot of self-work and therapy to even be able to be in the same room as people that are drinking. When I meet new people, I just politely turn down drinks by saying something along the lines of, I don't drink. There's obviously been some instances where people ask me why, but I never go into the traumatic details. I've never had anyone push it onto me or anything. That's what makes what happened last weekend so bizarre. On the second Saturday of every month, my husband, 30 male, and his sister, 32 female, throw a cookout or something along the lines for all of their childhood friends. I've always thought it was really cool and that they stayed close with so many people since I myself moved away from home and only stay in contact with one friend from school. I've been attending these hangouts ever since my husband and I started dating. There's never been any issues. I get along well with his friends and sister. Last Saturday, my husband took my 11-year-old brother out of town for a dad's/son day. We're his legal guardians. I've had custody of him since I was 20. I went to the usual, so I went to the cookout alone this time. I've done this a couple times before, and it's always been fine. So my sister-in-law handed out the usual mimosas, and I asked for just orange juice like I always. When I took a sip of the drink she handed me, I immediately spit it out because I could taste champagne. I turned around to my sister-in-law and said, "Oh, you must have given me your drink by mistake." When I turned, I noticed her and two of her friends laughing. I was so confused. I asked what was going on, and my sister-in-law said, through her giggles, "We thought it would be funny to see how you would react to alcohol since we've never seen you drink before. You should have seen your face." I was honestly just so shocked by that my only response was, "What the hell?" As they continued laughing, I just told them I was leaving. I honestly don't even remember that drive home because I was trying to keep myself from having a panic attack. When I finally got home, I just broke down crying. My husband and brother got home shortly after that, and I couldn't hide how I was feeling even if I wanted to. My husband immediately asked me what was wrong, and I just broke down again. I hate that my brother had to see me cry. I try to keep our house as happy and safe as possible. After I put on a movie for my brother, I explained what happened to my husband. He was so mad. I've never seen him like that before. He told me to go relax with my brother and he was going to sort everything out. I could hear him yelling at his sister on the phone, and after almost an hour, he came and sat with us and told me he wouldn't be seeing her again. The next day, we told my mother and father in law. I've always been really close with them, so I wanted to confide in them, but I was obviously scared because that's their daughter and I didn't want to talk bad about her to them. To my surprise, they were absolutely mortified and so apologetic on behalf of their daughter. I'm so glad because my little brother adores them. It would have been devastating if our relationship with them suffered because of this. So, yeah, this past week has been so weird. I feel weirdly betrayed. I hate that my sister in law and her friends used me as some sort of entertainment for the day. I know that they don't know the trauma this triggered inside of me, but I'm just so confused on why they thought that this was an okay thing to do. I also feel guilty because I don't want my husband to stop going to these cookouts and lose his time with his friends, and I don't want him and his sister to never see each other again because of me. My husband is amazing and has assured me it wouldn't be my fault if they never speak again. It's just hard not to feel that way. Don't worry though, I've had a lot of emergency therapy sessions this week and I will be okay. It was just such a bizarre thing to experience. It seems like a small, inconsequential thing to have happened to me, but it's been a crash course on trauma, triggers, PTSD, etc. Typing it out has been so helpful. Thanks for listening to my ramblings. I mean, Well, what if they don't know about the reason that you don't drink? What if you were an alcoholic? What if you literally were an alcoholic? Like, and then that made you spiral and become an alcoholic again. They don't know the reason behind you not drinking. And because you even said that yourself. So that is like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. That's like it's like giving something to someone that that they're allergic to. Like, what? Obviously, you don't do that. What if they literally died? Like, what is wrong with people? Honestly, I'm really glad that her husband is being supportive and also his parents are being supportive because that sounds like a very entitled person to be around. So, like, that's just ridiculous. Messed up. Okay. There's an update as well. 4 days later, this is the only update that she has. My sister in law pranked me by giving me alcohol knowing I don't drink. I feel like I'm spiraling about it. Update. Thank you to everyone that left me kind comments and messages on my previous post. I'll just get right into the update. A lot of you guessed right. This isn't the first time my sister in law has done something like this. She is definitely what some would consider a mean girl. My husband and his parents have had multiple falling outs with her over the years, but they've been on good terms recently until she pranked me. So yeah, I could see how my husband's immediate reaction to go no contact seemed like an overreaction. But he's dealt with a lot from her in the past. I don't want to give any specific examples because they're personal to my husband and his family. I hope you all understand. So here's what happened after my last post. After talking with my therapist and my husband, I decided I wanted to message my sister in law. I asked her if she wanted to get lunch and talk about what happened. I wanted to explain some of my past to her, my PTSD diagnosis, and why what she did affected me so much. I just wanted this to be over and for us to come to an understanding, but she never responded. A couple of my husband's friends that were at the cookout when the prank happened called us to check in on me. They said they had no idea my sister in law planned that and that they never would have let that happen. That's probably why she didn't clue them in on the prank. They told me that after I left, they told her it wasn't cool. After a couple of days, I just gave up hope of messaging. I just gave up hope of her messaging me back and decided to start moving on. Yesterday, my sister in law blew up my husband's phone. She said some pretty awful things. To summarize, it was along the lines of, "It's not my fault your wife is a PU that is scared of champagne." She called me a bunch of names from everything to the B word, see you next Tuesday, etc. She said she never liked me, and she wished my husband stayed with his high school girlfriend. They broke up when they were 18, by the way. My husband is 30, lol. The worst thing she said was my husband was just doing charity by taking in a couple of orphans. If you don't remember, I have custody of my 11-year-old brother, and we don't have any contact with our parents because they're abusive. So yeah, some pretty awful stuff. I was honestly just shocked. I thought we got along fine. We were never best friends or anything, but I had no idea she held this much animosity towards me. Maybe she's just embarrassed and lashing out because her parents or some of her friends berated her for it. I don't know. My husband sent just one message back to her saying he never wants to see or talk to her again and then blocked her and her husband's numbers. He told his parents what happened and they were furious too. I don't know what they said to her, but they're about as done as my husband is. Since I've been in therapy and have support around me, her words didn't bother me that much. I know she obviously has some problems to deal with, and I'm just her latest target. The worst thing she did was bring up my brother. I'll never forgive her for that. He's not an orphan. He has two parents that love him, and I'm not either. I have in-laws that love me and support me. They always have my back even when it comes to their own daughter. If I never see my sister-in-law again, I'd be fine with that. I truly hope one day she'll come to her senses and understand the way that she treats people isn't right. We've decided to turn every second Saturday of the month into Family Day just fine. I'm already feeling miles better than I did writing my previous post. I don't think it's funny to give someone alcohol without their consent, even if you know the person drinks. Anyway, again, thank you for all the kind words. I hope there will be no more updates, but if anything crazy happens, I'll let you know. Wow. That girl sounds like the definition of a literal biatch. Like, bye. That's like the worst thing ever is when your significant other's sister is a bitch. Like, oh my god, that's the worst that you could ever think of, because girls can just be so mean, and especially like sisters of boyfriends, because I feel like there seems to be like a power dynamic almost between sisters and the girlfriend of their brother. Like they seem to think that they have like so much control, because obviously like it's their family, so they think that they are going to get their way with everything, and that the family is going to take their side over everything. But clearly in this situation, that proves that that is not true. And if you're a terrible human being, you don't have to stick up for your family that's acting like a terrible human being. And I'm really glad that they didn't take her side, because that is honestly so sad that that happened. And obviously she's doing great now, and I love that for her, but that's just like so wrong. And what was the point of that? Just to get a little laugh? And then why are you even thinking that's funny? Like, oh my god, haha, you drink a sip of champagne, wow, that's so hilarious. Because you know that it would hurt her. That's why. And you get joy out of seeing someone else hurt, which is the first red flag. And you deserve nothing good in your life for that. Okay, some comments. Some people truly stay bullies for life. They never grow past that schoolyard desire to do something awful and laugh about it with their friends. OP said, "It's quite remarkable, isn't it? I'm never sure if these people are deeply unhappy and need to take it out on someone, or if they're really happy because they lack the bandwidth for introspection." Honestly, that's what I always think about. I'm like, are they just like happy with themselves because they don't really think about it deeply, so it doesn't really matter to them? Like, I always think about that, because I'm the type of person that thinks so deeply about everything. So like even the stupidest things that don't really matter to anyone else matter to me, and I'll like overthink it so much even though they weren't thinking about it at all, because I just have so much. I don't know. Is it bad to say I have self awareness? Like, I feel like people that say they have self awareness aren't self aware, but I genuinely feel like I'm one of the most self aware people in the world, so much to the point that it hurts me. Like, that it damages my potential to start friendships with people and relationships with people, and like my potential to just like be the best person that I could, or like thrive in certain careers or in certain areas of my life, because I'm so self aware that I just constantly am thinking about what other people think of me, or about how this would make someone feel, or about how this would make someone think that I'm weird or think that I'm stupid, or and stuff like that. And I know that that affects me, and that definitely just like hinders my potential in life. And obviously as I've gotten older, I've gotten better about it, but I'm nowhere near like healed from being that way. And honestly, it sucks. Like, I just wish I was a little less self-aware of myself and had just a little more delusional like ignorance, because sometimes ignorance truly is bliss in certain situations. And I would love to just not care about those things. That's like, I feel like that's really the solution, is to, even if you are self-aware, realize that maybe people are thinking those things, but that you don't have to care about what they're thinking. You know? I feel like just knowing that maybe people will judge you for this, or maybe people will be talk about you behind their back or think that you're stupid, but like that's okay, and you can be confident in who you are and not care about what they're thinking. That is so profound, but will I ever be that way? The Lord will only know, because probably not. I just am so, I'm not even, I don't know. Like, am I insecure? Because I don't know. I feel like sometimes I really am. Like, but then sometimes I'm like, no, I know who I am as a person, and I'm confident in who I am as a person. But when it comes to like putting myself out there for in so many aspects, like I've talked to you guys about that before, like friendships, asking people to hang out, even if we're friends, like I still feel like, oh, they probably won't want to hang out. Oh, they're probably busy. Oh, they probably already have plans. Like, I'll just wait for them to come to me. But then in return, that makes them think that I don't want to hang out, and that I don't really like value our friendship. But it's such a battle between that, because it's like, obviously I value our friendship, but in my head, I'm thinking that like everyone's too busy to hang out with me, and I don't want them to feel like they have to say yes, because I hate that. But in reality, it's like, girl, you need to just not be scared of the simplest things, you know? And it's so annoying because it's like we could be best friends. We could be so close. Yet I still will feel like I can't ask you to hang out because I don't want you to feel bad and only hang out because I'm asking you to, but you feel you don't want to, but you feel bad so you say yes because you feel like you can't say no, because sometimes I feel like that. Like sometimes I'm like I can only say no if I have a true excuse to say no to something. And so then I think that everyone's like that when that's obviously not the case, because not everyone thinks like me or acts like me. Everyone's unique in their own way, but I always like put my own insecurities and like thoughts on other people, and I think that they think the same way as me when that's just not the case in a lot of circumstances. But hopefully she obviously keeps healing through her trauma, and we love that she is getting the therapy that she needs, and that her brother has a safe and healthy home and parents to come home to, and that's really great for them, and they're amazing people for taking that responsibility on. But let me know what you guys thought of this story and the update. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, this mini episode of the Storytime Society, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.